Hi, I'm Mariama Reister, and this is my sheep brain dissection video. We're first going to start off pointing out the different cerebral lobes of the brain. First we have the frontal, which is here. It extends to about there. Then we have the parietal, which would be in the center here. And then we have the temporal, which would be here on the side. And then towards the back area, we have the occipital. Then we'll move on to the gyrus, which are the elevated ridges of the tissue, and they're separated by shallow grooves called sulcus, which would be these grooves there. Longitudinal fissure is right here. It separates the right and the left cerebral hemispheres. On the side here, we have the lateral sulcus. That separates the temporal lobe from the parietal lobe. So this is the temporal lobe and this is the parietal lobe. Next, I'll be demonstrating the cerebellum, which would be this right here. And then we have the pons, which is going to be about there. And then we'll have the medulla oblongata. Now we're going to turn to the ventral face of the brain. This side we'll be looking at the olfactory bulb, which would be right in here. There's two of them. We have the olfactory tract, which leads down to the occipital nerves, which would be there and there. And we have the occipital chiasm, which is going to be in the center there, that little bump. We have the cerebral pentacle, which is about here. And we have the pituitary gland, which is going to be this little gland right there. Now we'll move to pointing out a couple of the nerves, the cranial nerves. First we have the oculomotor, which would be right there. Next we have the trochlear, which is right there. Next we have the trigeminal, which is right there. And then we have the abducens, which is right there. So now we're going to do the dorsal deep structures. The first one that we have is the corpora quadramina, which would be right in here. Next we have the superior and inferior colliculi, which would be down here, both of them. The superior is on top, the inferior is on the bottom. And lastly we have the penile body, which is going to be deep down in there. Next we'll move over to the sagittal section of the brain. This would be the cerebrum. Next is the corpus callosum, which would be right here. Next to it we have the fornix, which is right there. Then we have the lateral ventricle, which is over here. We have the immediate mass of the thalamus, which is there. We have the cerebral pentacle, which is going to be here. Then we have the pons, which is there. And then we have the medulla oblongata, which is there. We have the fourth ventricle, which is going to be over here. Then we have the corpora quadramina, which is there. And then we have the cerebellum. We have the cerebellum, which is this here. But we also have the cerebellum with arbiter vitae, which is going to be right there. The arbiter vitae is the distinctive pattern of white matter in the cerebellum. And lastly, we have the penile body, which is right there. This concludes my sheep brain dissection video. Thank you.